That changed everything for me. When I figured that out, I was like, this is genius.
Is that you're actually gonna really like this? So
Yeah, one thing I see as a big mistake with new entrepreneurs is, but that first one is really hard. So how did you solve that?
followed your recipe.
Well, I like that answer. So Daniel, you obviously joined Licensing Scale 13 months ago. Was it $10,000 a month? Last month, what did you hit?
110.
110.
Was our best month in May. Last month we did 90.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we're kind of hovering around that now for the last few months.
Sick.
But I just got removed from sales, which we can go through.
Nice.
And then we have so much more capacity to now go up.
What I really want to break down, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to know in a 13-month window how you can pretty much 11x the company. I still remember when I got grouped into a group chat with you, and I thought you were half woman at the time as well, because you've changed how you look as well completely, and like you're just a completely different person to then. You've gone through many evolutions. So I just want to know in your own words, I guess, if you could summarize what it took to go from, you know, Daniel Parker 1.0 to Daniel Parker maybe 3.0 now. What did that evolution look like?
It was having a roadmap, because I had a decent mindset. Like naturally, like I was always into the gym. I was working hard, but I was stuck. Like at that like 10K a month mark, we were stuck there maybe a year.
A year?
Yeah, it was like we had ups and downs. We had some better months, but it was kind of around that, maybe like 10. One month was like 15, and then like back down to 10. Like just got stuck there because I was terrified of hiring. That was like the biggest thing. Like just like delegating and like getting really good at that. That was definitely one of them. Also, acquisition was just all me just hammering phones. I got really good at, my identity was I'm good at cold calls, so that's how I get appointments. And so I became a really good cold caller, but that wasn't what was needed to grow.
Interesting.
So you really helped me get over that barrier of ads.
Yeah.
Because
I
was
still
really
remember
against
that
it.
actually.
Yeah.
I remember the first thing you came in, you're like, I'm in blank program, not gonna say the name, I'm doing outbound, and right away I was like, fuck that. Launch ads immediately. And I mean, it's just a far superior way, especially when you were at like 10 grand a month. Yeah,
because in that program, they said only launch ads once you get to 30K a month.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually really bad.
It's
like in
terrible.
hindsight, at the time I was like, oh, you pay the money, just listen.
Yeah.
But now, like if I was advising anyone, I would do it so much sooner. Because it would have sped us up a lot. It's just like so much leverage because it's not attached to your time. You can work on high leverage things. It's really predictable. So yeah, that was definitely ads, hiring. And then also a big one is being around the right types of people. Because for me, I had like very, very limited connections at all. And then now I've been able to be friends with people exactly where I am now, but like that was 6 months ago, a year ago. And then also now we're friends with people who are 5x, 10x above us, which is exactly what you want to do, because then it makes it normality. Yeah. That's been the biggest thing.
And those people, was it that you met them in the coaching calls, the Slack, or was it that you met them at the in-person events? Or was it both?
A bit of both. So I intentionally wanted to know some people at the mastermind. So I went to Mykonos Mastermind, which was August. So at just the month before that, which was July, we did $17,000. And then after that, that's when we started scaling really fast, because we were just around loads of people doing 30, 50, some people doing 100K a month there. So I intentionally spoke with some people on Slack, reached out to some people on Instagram. So I felt like I knew a few people there. So I'd be like, oh, nice to meet you in person, mate. And then, but then really, like, I made so many friends that will be like lifelong friends from that mastermind that I speak on like a weekly basis with. Yeah. So the in-person mastermind, like, yeah, it was just like so much faster in terms of being able to build really strong relationships, which was, and it was great fun.
I think the biggest unspoken thing that is the biggest value add from any coaching program is the network. And it's always the in-person stuff that changes your whole paradigm every time. It's just simply exposure. It's like the exposure to being around people that you pedestalize, therefore closes the gap, because you realize, oh, this person isn't this messiah like I thought they was. They're very much normal. They very much have their own bad habits. They very much have their own good things about them, bad things about them. And it kind of makes you realize, like, oh, if this person can do it, why can't I?
100%. Like I want to be friends with people that are exactly where I want to be at, because then I know that they're just a human being and that I can do it exactly that. So I was really intentional with like trying to be friends with people who are ahead of me, and I'm doing that now, always reinvesting into the business to be around better people. And so it just makes it so normalized. And it's just like me not being there becomes a minimum standard, so you fit in so you can afford to fucking go around with everyone. And then also it just pushes you to go, okay, that's my minimum, and then you go even higher. So like every time I've reached a goal, I haven't really gone like massive celebration ever. It's always just been like, okay, all right, we're now here, let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
Which is what I wanted. Whereas if you're like the biggest in your friend group, it's not gonna push you as far.
Exactly, right? It's like big fish in a small pond, small fish in big pond. I think that's why a lot of people get stuck at $10,000, $20,000 a month, because you get there and you're still in an environment where you are the top 0.01% when you compare yourself to the average person. But if you just simply change who you compare yourself to, you might be the brokest in the room. It's that analogy from Alex Hormozi, which is you will feel poorer than any poor man if you were a multimillionaire and all you was around billionaires, because the gap is so big, and through active comparison, you feel like the smallest person in the room.
And we moved to Dubai we moved the company in December 2025. So again, it shows how quickly we moved, because we went from like a little 10K a month agency to then move the company out to Dubai. And then we moved out there for the Dubai Mastermind, which was February. But in that time, we went to Dubai multiple times. So like, again, raising the standard of people you're around. And you were very helpful in like making that move, giving us the right connections, because it is a bit of a minefield. And I was just very glad that you and Hadley had just like figured it all out, and I could just go, I'll pay that guy, I'll live there, go there, done. And I was able to set up and get to Dubai in 3 weeks after deciding I was going to do it, which is like really fast.
You know, it's funny because, you know, we talk about in business the problem solution cycle. And when I started treating License and Scale like that, like a spider web of, okay, these people come into my ecosystem and I can sell them like 1,000 things, it's always the best way to maximize LTV. Like, you obviously renewed after the initial term for like another 12 months. You've been to like 2 out of the 3 masterminds that have taken place since you've been in the program. And I think that just comes down to the fact that, maybe in your own words, you can see it from your perspective. I think it's not only because you get practical agency knowledge, but it's like, well, okay, how do I make sure I pay no taxes? I mean, what do I do about, you know, hiring a PA and doing this and that and the third? What about a connection here? It's like, once you make more money, it's not just business problems you have all sorts of problems that start to pop up.
Yeah, and you've been super helpful with all of that. Yeah, like recruitment for people, like PA side, like didn't even know we needed to hire a PA until you told us. So that was a big pivotal move, really helpful. And then moving to Dubai was a big one. And then like even just going to, like for example, we went out to Miami, and you saying about how good Miami was really helpful in terms of us going, okay, let's go to Miami for 2 months. And then that was a really good time. We hit our record month when we were in Miami around really good people. And then that will serve us for a lifetime because of all the connections we got now. Met with a few of them in Marbella a couple of weeks ago. So just like all compounds. And you just like being able to go, this is good, this is bad. Just, super helpful.
I still think this is the best way to join a coaching program. You did it the exact way I would have done it as well, which is you go in and you might not be thinking it right away, but you understand it now, which is you go in with the intention of, okay, how do I become friends with the person I paid money to? Because then when you become friends with them, you're around them, so you get the benefit of just understanding how they think and closing the gap. Not to mention you also get in their ecosystem. You get around the people they're around, and then you really close the gap of like, cool, I'm now really connected around all these high-level people. Yeah,
because like we're just like mates, and now but I met you through paying you. But now we're just like mates. We after this we're gonna go play paddle. We lived together in Miami for a month, and all of that was just one paying, and then also just like attacking problems really aggressively, growing fast. Because like if you're not growing fast, you're not gonna want to hang around with us.
Exactly. That, and you just can't be
around people who are growing.
Yeah. I think like for the people watching this as well, because, you know, we've had the rule of crazies or large numbers. Every now and again, you're going to get a client in that nobody fucking likes. And that's just part of the game. I think my takeaway has always been, how do I make sure that I can extract value, but also give value, and also talk to this person as if they were a friend? It's like the analogy of, if you treat someone like a celebrity, they're going to treat you like a fan. And nobody wants to be friends with a fan. So the minute you get in a program with someone that you might pedestalize, the first thing you must do is abolish the pedestal. You must put them on the same wavelength as you. It's like a mastermind I recently went to with somebody that I look up to doing 30, 40 million a year. I don't want to pedestalize that person. I'm not going to do what most people do, which is go up to them and fucking hammer them with questions when they're having a drink at the bar. I'm just going to treat them like a friend, fuck around, have a good time. And then you'll find through that, those people actually like being around you. And a lot of the time, you might end up just befriending that person outside of the money you pay them. Yeah,
I also think like with us, like we just naturally got on as well. Like even when we first met in London for the first time, we had a good fucking night out that first time, which was just like good timing. But I was very conscious of that, and didn't want to. I don't put anyone on a pedestal now.
Yeah.
Which is.
It's the best way. And I think you eventually like get to a point where you're aware of it. It's hard when you're at like $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. It's impossible, I believe.
You've
But
actually
once you're
helped me
like-
get over that though.
Yeah,
I don't,
how?
you'll remember this time. It was in Miami. We saw the Anua brothers in real,
Yeah.
and I was like, bro, I'm gonna
Oh
go
my
fucking
God,
jump
yeah.
out the car and go talk to them. And then after, you and our friend Tyler, who's also got an interview on your channel, were like, yeah, bro, like you're putting those guys on a pedestal.
Yep.
And I had a different mindset to it at the time, but like now, after reading like Neuronologist's book, I was like, oh yeah, fuck, like yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a good realization to have.
Yeah.
On the more practical side, so from 10 to 110, was there like, obviously you crack paid ads. And I know when you first came in, we initially mapped out the plan of, okay, implementation plan, crack paid ads, expand out to the US market.
Yep.
And then of course, getting you and your partner Francesca out of the day-to-day. But that sort of changed when we realized, you know what, you've actually got so much low-hanging fruit in the UK when not a lot of people want to scale in the UK market. They think, you know what, I get to 10K a month, I'm gonna go to the big boy market. Why did you decide to stick with the UK market?
We were trying with the US and we were getting clients, but then at the same time we were getting UK clients organically because we weren't pushing it through referrals. And then I was like, it was the operational complexity of having multiple time zones because we wanted to do calls for both countries.
Yeah.
And when you have like 2 CSRs, which was at the time, and then you got like all these different calendar providers, it was just like way too much complexity. And I was just like, let's just run some ads in the UK, see how it goes. And our CAC at the time, like now, I feel like we've really like, because our TAM's only 1,000.
Yeah.
So it's very, very small. So we were able to crack it like now, but we had like 6 months where we were just like really low CAC. And when I saw that, and we were signing like 15 clients in a month. And this was when you're at like 20K a month. Like you do that many clients a month, you're like, boom, you've doubled.
Yeah.
So we were moving really quickly with just like ads were just popping off. And then I was just like, let's just scale this and see how far we can go with it. And then we started doing the in-person events, which has been pivotal for us as well. And then like becoming like niche celebrities and building like inbound content too. So we've got like Instagram going, YouTube going, kind of like a mini little podcast going too. And that just made us a pretty decent authority in a small niche, which was really helpful. So, yeah, going back to your question, it was more just I didn't think the operational complexity would work. We had to either pick one or the other. If we wanted to go into the US market now, which is on the agenda, it would be fine because we have so much resources, capital, team, that if I wanted to just focus on the US, I could because the agency would run on its own because Francesca, my business partner and beautiful future wife, will be able to run it with our ops manager and our client success teams and our salespeople. So that was the reasoning behind it because of the operational complexity. So I think if you are in the UK and you're at 5-10K a month, which is what you did, go to US, go all in, like do as much as you can for your UK clients, but understand you're probably gonna have to cut them loose and just focus on the US and then you can scale it from there. But for us, we were just organically growing because our results were good, are good, and it was never going to stop. So we had to be like, we're not accepting UK clients, which at the time when you're at like 15K a month is like pretty hard to go, no, we're not accepting anymore with an unproven market, and it's worked out really well.
Yeah, I think you made the right play.
Yeah.
Because the way I see it is, you can do one of two things to go from the 10 you're at to 100K a month. Path one is, you could have gone through the hardship of trying to crack ads in the US and it would have worked out. Or you capitalize on the low-hanging fruit in a smaller market like you have, and the benefit to that is that you can capture the whole market. The con though, is that you need to make sure that your product is dialed and you keep your reputation in hold. I know many people that go in the US market that don't give any fucks about fulfillment because they can get away with it. But in the UK, you have to capitalize on additional acquisition channels. Like you have to be speaking at events, you have to be doing content, you have to be doing ads, all three simultaneously, because otherwise you're gonna cap out at like 50 or once you start getting into these events and not only being able to speak there, but also being able to pitch there as well.
Which you already can do.
Which you already can do, which is great. And that's another way that, the one thing I love about events is you have like triple leverage. You get the content, long form and short form. You can also give it to your clients. You can post it on YouTube as well. And you get to pitch there. So you get like so many things in a 60-minute snippet that you can do when you go to an event.
Yeah, I love it. And the experience is great. Like I've done 5 events, biggest one is in front of 130 people. And I'd be able to just do that and like know that's my baseline now of 130 people. There's not many people at 21 who have done that.
Yeah.
And then I can just go up and up and up. So it was, speaking at events, I'm very glad that if I'd been in the US, maybe I wouldn't have done that yet. So I've had that experience, and for me, the agency game is very much about skills and developing as many skills as possible. Like, one of my things is that we're very, very profitable, but I don't focus on profitability. I always hire before the constraint so that I can learn how to hire them. Also means we can scale revenue without needing to get caps, because we're like, oh no, we haven't got a close yet, for example. And so yeah, I just want to develop as many skills as possible. I think the UK market's allowed us to do that because we do inbound, we do the talks, we got partnerships as well. So we partner with like device providers, and they give us referrals, and we give them discounts to their clients so they can sell the devices more easily. So all of this stuff has been, great, fantastic learning. We just had to work a bit harder to acquire clients.
How did you go about getting on the first stage? Because usually what happens is, the challenge of speaking at in-person events is you have to be qualified enough to get on the first stage. Usually, if you do a good job on the first one and it's a reputable event, the second one, the third one, the fifth one, the 10th one is even easier. Like, for me, I just spoke at the A Players event, ran my own events. For me now, it's like a downhill slope. I'm getting invited on podcasts and to speak at events like once a week right now. But that first one is really hard. So how did you solve that?
You're actually going to really like that. So I'd done like one really small one with a mutual friend of ours, Stefan, who he was at a mastermind. So we'd done like 20 people, but I'm pretty sure when I got invited, they actually didn't know this with the big one. The second one I ever did was 130 people.
Yeah.
And the reason I got it was because I met the lady who runs the association, and I gave her a box of premium coffee. And so I knew, because I looked it up online, what she liked. So I knew she liked coffee. And so she really liked that I had thought about that, gave her a gift, and then I made a really good impression and showed that I could talk. And she'd seen me at the trade stand at the event previously, so she knew I could talk. But yeah, I was definitely, thinking back to it now, and now me and this lady, like me and her, she's like my second mum now, which is great. We literally house sitted for her for a week. And so, but she really trusted me, so yeah, I got to thank her a lot for that, because I hadn't done much. So I probably got a little bit lucky, but it was also quite tactical, where I built a relationship. So probably building relationship and thinking outside the box, like buying a gift, like how many people are going to do that for the person that runs an association. So anytime you go to an event, if you've got a trade stand, I always do this, buy the people who run it a gift: chocolates, flowers, if they like coffee, champagne if they're not like super dialed in on their health. Obviously don't buy like a health guru a bottle of champagne, they probably wouldn't mind either, but just conscious of that sort of thing. So yeah, that was how we got into it, and just like showing up. We went to a trade show before with that association, and that's how they knew our brand, my face, and that's how I was able to speak to her in person. And then I actually got one of our clients connected us. So at the trade show, my client brought me over to her, introduced me, they were close, so then that also gave me some nice authority. Nice.
Yeah, so it was like law of reciprocity kind of thing. You went in with intention. That's smart. Smart.
It was. Yeah, it worked out really well, and it was a great opportunity. Looking forward to doing some more too. And then I've done a few other speaking events, like done 60 people, 30 people a few times, but I haven't got over the 100 apart from one time.
Yeah. How did you go about cracking paid ads for your offer? Was it pretty easy for you?
Followed your recipe.
Well, I like that answer. That certainly
clip that shit.
Clip that shit. Turn that into a montage. SOP montage everywhere. The Luxmaxing SOPs floating around. But on the more practical side, that's great. And I already knew that was the answer. That's why I asked it. However, besides that, I know some people really struggle with cracking ads, especially in a market that's commoditized, where there's a lot of people running the same ads, the same offers. So how did you go about that? Was there a lot of constraints you faced, or was it fairly self-explanatory?
So at first, it was actually quite simple, because our market hadn't seen many ads before.
Yeah.
Now it's getting more complex. So, but practically, like, run video ads, you can do them with AI. We haven't been doing that too much yet, but I think you can do it quite well. Some of our friends are having good success with that. And so video ads, we did lead forms, like create the flow and then add the friction later. So start with lead forms if you can, and then if you've got quality problems, then add the landing pages on. And you always talk about you want to have your unique mechanism. So figure out what your unique mechanism is. So obviously for you, and you really had profitable ads for your agency, was the call center. For us, it was also the same. Like, we're going to call them all your leads, and it's a pay per patient model.
Got you.
Now, we do have a pay per patient model. We have an A/B split close.
Bait and switch. Ethical bait and switch. It's okay. It's okay. Doesn't need to be an unethical bait and switch. We've all done it. We've all done it.
The thing is, they could go for it.
Yeah.
With someone with the right setup would go for it.
Okay.
But most people do go for the 12-week plan.
Ethical bait and switch.
Okay, all right, fine.
No, you see, that's the right way of doing the bait and switch. I've seen some crazy shit, and I used to run some crazy shit. We used to run like, hey, only pay when you close a package. We'd get on, we'd be like, great. So the way it works is you're going to pay per package 50 grand, but you don't want to do that, so you're going to go. They would never pick it. But like, the thing is, the bait and switch still works, you know? I think like...
We still do it now, yeah.
Yeah, it still works. The thing is, what
Don't
people...
clip this though, me.
No,
I'm not a bait and switcher.
What people get wrong about scaling like an agency on ads now is that they think that, oh, it's saturated enough to the point where they can't get past a 2x ROAS, but it's just that they're shit at marketing. Like, did you see that ad that I sent in the main license and scale channel yesterday?
Not yesterday's one, no.
I literally made an ad of me on the floor with the dog being like, they're coming for us, we need to start an agency, and I'm woofing at the dog. But the point I'm trying to make with that as a key message is that most people just aren't creative enough. And they question, oh, why aren't my ads profitable? I need to change niche, change offer. But the thing is, they just fucking suck at marketing. And every time I look, they have 3 image ads up, or 3 videos up where they're copying what everybody else is doing, and they just don't use their brain to think outside the box and be creative. And if they did that, they'd realize that it doesn't matter how saturated or how commoditized an offer is, you can be very profitable if you're just good at marketing.
One of the best bits of marketing we've ever done is and I reckon you probably have the same thing. If you just put a camera in front of like me or you, we'll probably just come up with something that will be a good hook, like off the rip.
Yep.
So one of my best hooks is, well, it's literally just a really short ad, best performing ad. There's a chiropractic bench, and I fall, or like face plant, and I do a push up and I do a clap. I'm like, chiropractic is your marketing falling on its face.
Yep.
And it was just like off the riff. And that one we ran, like we must have, I don't know how much we spent on that ad, tens and tens of thousands on ads. And on that one ad. Because and like everyone knows it, and like probably one day when I go on stage where it's like an audience where they're really warm and they know me, I'm gonna do that. Like that'll be how I start. That's
and
how
people
I
start to remember you for that shit as well.
Yeah, like the guy falls on his face. So we're doing new ads where it's like, there's this new one where it's like, chiropractors, is your marketing falling on his face? And there's a sign of like, don't fall off this cliff. And I'm like, oh, is it falling off a cliff? And then it's just like, again, it's just like similar thing, but just repackaged slightly different. So we do a lot of ads where Francesca will just take the camera, I'll have a mic. Like one time I climbed in a tree, like some of the new ads, climbing a tree, like signs, doing a handstand. So that sort of stuff I really like, where just like different locations as well. Like don't always be in like a studio, like looking at the camera with teleprompter and stuff. But
my best performing ad to date, the hook, was me sat there like this going, I was just meditating on how shit your lead quality is. And still to date, that ad has made me more than like 300 grand in just new cash up front. And going back to your point on ads, it's like there's 3 levels of diversification. Diversification in the messaging, the setting, and the person. So you've got to have all 3. If you look at Daniel Isles spending $1 million a month on ads, you'll see it. 30 different faces, 30 different types of ads, images, videos, different designs. And when you look at that, it's like, okay, this is what's required to be profitable at scale in a commoditized offer.
Yeah, we're now really like pushing out lots more ads now because it's just what's required.
It is, and especially when you are doing things like this, what you'll start to realize is the more organic you do, the better you get at just weaving in your hooks into your organic content that can then be reproduced into ads. So, for example, I recently just did a podcast where we had an offer where we were placing AI specialists, and I turned into a hook on a podcast. I was like, do you want to know the one hire that every agency needs but doesn't have? And the other person was like, what is it? I'm like, everyone needs an AI specialist, but they don't. What they think is they think that they're just going to be using Claude to build out dashboards, but what they should be doing is X, Y, and Z, and then we go into a CTA.
Nice.
So say you did them with like chiropractors as an example, you could start planning before what hooks you're going to weave in that you could turn into pieces of content or that you could turn into ads. Because it's just a new format, right? Not many people are doing the podcast style ads, especially if you were sat there with someone in a chiropractic office.
Yeah. We need to do more of that. And because I'm getting into content much more now.
Yeah.
I'm going to get, that's like, it's the highest leverage skill, marketing.
It is.
And team.
Marketing and team, leadership, the whole 9 yards, both of them.
Yeah, those 2. And it's very hard to delegate marketing, like the really high level, like the ideas, the ideation, that sort of stuff. And so that's the skill for me next. So we can go to the next level, is getting really good at marketing.
Yeah.
And so I need to get better at I'm going to be looking at the camera. Do you want to know one thing about how to scale chiropractic clinic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so the main thing was obviously on the front end, just cracking paid ads and ramping up the spend, right? The way I see it is, in a business, it's quite like riding a bike. When you're figuring out your offer, you've like got what are those things on the back of a bike again?
They're like...
Stabilizers.
Yeah, there you go.
When you're first growing a business and cracking the offer, you've got the stabilizers on, you're gonna fall off, you're gonna scrape your leg. But once you have the offer and you're at like a 2, 3, 4x ROAS, you're just riding a bike. It's like scale the ad spend, hire more people, scale the ad spend, fix the back end, and you're just riding the bike, and you wanna make sure you can go as fast as possible on that bike without the wheels falling off and having to turn off acquisition.
Yeah.
For you, now you're at 110, what broke in that transition from 10 to 110? Or was it smooth? Was it nice?
Oh, we had some dark days at some point.
Yeah.
Because we had this apartment in the UK for 6 months. That was when that was the trenches days for us. Yeah, so when we entered that apartment, we had 1 team member. And when we left that apartment, we must have had 10, maybe 12 or something.
Yeah.
What broke? Like our whole snapshot is like completely been revamped like 5-6 times in GHL. Like that was a big one. Now we have an ops assistant, and then we have above the ops assistant we have a tech and like an AI specialist, and then we have an ops manager as well. So luckily that sort of stuff I don't need to deal with a lot, but there's always like on the operations side, that's like there's a lot of complexity on that part, especially for us because we have a pretty big team.
Yeah.
Because we have a call center of 8, maybe 9 people. I think we just hired someone this week, so 8 or 9 people. And so there's a lot of complexity going through it. And like midway through, we transitioned from GHL has the dialing system, but then going to HP, that one. And then we had like a tech person, go us midway. We were living together then.
Yeah.
So then, I
remember that.
Because then I didn't, you guys all went out on the weekend and I was like in for the whole weekend. I stayed in because I had to pick up the slack for this tech guy. So that was one. Media team we've had to rehire like a few times, but now our media team's in much better spots, like media buyers. To be fair, Francesca manages our whole calling department. Usually people have a lot of problems on that side, but we're really solid on that. Like that's the backbone of us. Like we're extremely profitable with our calling side, and we've got really great team members.
When you say
culture.
extremely profitable, expand on that, because most people don't see their call center as a profit center.
Yes. Yeah, so this is some source from you actually. So every time we book someone in, we take money from the patient and we keep that money, same model as you, and 25 quid each one. And so that pays for the whole calling team, plus most of the other team too. So we're like already just from the calling side, and that's not where we get majority of our revenue from, we're able to pay for like the entire team. We've only just got to a stage where now it's because we've got like some higher level team members, like operations managers, account managers, multiple client success people, where it's not paying for the whole thing, but for a very long time it's paying for the whole team, which is like team's one of the biggest expenses in an agency. So it was really nice, just like we've never been an agency that's needed new cash to pay for expenses.
And that's exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, hugely. Like we're always profitable and just back end.
Yeah.
And the calling helps a lot with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if we didn't do that, I understand why people wouldn't like the calling side of it, but we really like it.
Yeah. That changed everything for me. When I figured that out, and I'm proud to say I didn't learn that from anyone, I just figured that out and I was like, this is genius. Because like in our markets, in the medical space and in niches that you can take a deposit, it's like, well, why would that deposit go to the client when, let's say I pay an offshore call center agent $6 an hour, they get $5 an appointment. Let me charge $30 to the patient, and then I immediately cover their hourly salary and their commission. And if they book an appointment an hour, as an example,
which is typically the KPI.
Yeah, I'm making a 2x ROI. Yeah. So the only metric we look at with our call center team for our clients is profitability. And if anyone's sub a 1.5x, we let them off the team. Which means, again, now everybody is a profit center. So now it's like, cool, I have my front end acquisition that I want to shoot for like front end, let's say a 3x ROAS. But then I have my back end call center team that also collect deposits that I want a 2x ROAS on as the KPI on a monthly basis.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. We typically have a look at looked at it that way. Maybe we might after hearing you say it like that. We do look at the profitability side, but not like per agent, which is quite a smart way of looking at it. But they do have obviously KPIs in place, but that I really like that way of looking at it. But yeah, it's been absolutely, because then as you scale, you're not going to worry about like, is the calling side, like bringing on new clients, and then you just want to increase ad spend, and then you don't even need to pay, the client doesn't even need to pay you more. When they increase ad spend, you'll still know that you're going to be getting way more appointments, so it doesn't really matter anyway, which is just like a little benefit where your CSMs can just keep upselling ad spend, upselling ad spend, and then eventually when they hit a certain threshold, then they'll have to pay us a little bit more in retainer. But the model is, on the calling side is great.
Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
Like,
and it saves us a massive headache, because I imagine now, on the previous model we were on, there would be like some profitability problems.
Yeah. It's just an example of like, the one thing. That's the way I see it with like, people a lot of the time will get on calls as like, how the fuck are people paying like 20K, 40K to get consulting on growing their agency? Well, it's like, if you get one nugget that will make you assign you an extra 4 or 5 clients alone, not to mention like that every month, it obviously makes sense, right? You get paid in correlation to the level of value you provide. So TLDR, from going from 10 to 110, a lot of shit broke, but you figured out how to fix it along the way.
Sometimes not me, like team members, just like hiring the people who can figure it out. That was one of the best things, especially been feeling that a lot now in the last like 3 months. Have you watched the new Spider-Man yet?
No.
Okay. In the new Spider-Man, there's like
a new Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I have to check that out.
I watched it in my bed not long ago. But there's this scene where it's like, this lady's like, this is little potato stuff. I only want the big potato stuff. So it's like the size of problem and the size of opportunity. And I actually say to like some of my team members now who've watched the film, like, I only want the big potato stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool now we're at the stage where things will just get fixed and I don't need to be involved. And I'm like, we just have to make sure that when things are being fixed, or if they're being changed, like the snapshot, that we're building, I like the way that Hadley puts it, like manuals. So it's like there's an SOP, there's a video, it goes into school, it's organised. Like that was some really great thing you gave us too, is like the boot camps in school, like our ones are stacked, like it's insane the amount of like, we can get a media buyer ramped up without even needing to, where you can put like an hour into them, a week later they're fully ramped up. Same with CSRs, pretty much they're ops people now, but that's a little bit of a trickier position because there's so much context they need. That was a big one. Like, really helpful. So, just pay like good team members who can figure out problems. I love the 1-3-1 rule as well. To just like get them to come up with the solutions themselves. That's been, I like hiring high level people who can just figure stuff out.
And that's the best way. What we found is we pay 20 to 30% more. The systems and the SOPs don't really matter anymore. Once you find yourself having to make stupid rules and you find yourself having to SOP stupid shit, it usually is a correlation of the quality of people. And if you just go for us, we went from paying B2B setters an average of 3 to 4K a month to 8K a month.
Nice.
And immediately the caliber of talent, we were getting like good closers as setters.
Nice.
All of a sudden we're going from 1 or 2 outbound sets a day to like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Same applies with our sales reps. We went from having 5 sales reps on the team who were making like 10 grand a month to now having, okay, we can have 2 that make 25K a month each. And now all of a sudden, all of our bitching problems about lead quality have disappeared. Magically.
Yeah, I like that. I think that would make sense on closes where you can just like condense it. And also I recorded a reel on this recently. It's like, if you're really good, that you definitely have this and I do too. If you're really good at one, you just portray a good energy. You've got a good vision. You're a good leader. You can sell someone on a vision too. You can get talent for a discount because they know.
You absolutely can.
They know what you're going to become. And we've had this so much, especially in the last 6 months or so. So much people taking discounts because they know what they can grow into and the long term. And so doing that in your interview process, on your onboarding and mapping out what their goals are, fitting that into a vision is really good. Also, it pushes you as well, because if you get someone who's already made 6 figures a year and you're paying them 75% of that, 50% of that, you know they need to get there to retain. So you're like, okay, how do I build a business?
And it holds you externally accountable.
The first team member I ever hired like that was a B2B setter who had like really big goals. He wanted to make at the time it was really big goals. He wanted to make 10K a month. For like an employee, it was quite belief breaking. And this was, I don't know, eight months ago or something. And then I was like, okay, that's a new unlock of what I believe.
That's where you get the best talent. Like above the 10K a month range, upper echelons of 20K a month, you get fucking savages. Like I found A player talent want 3 things. They want the money, they want to be paid a lot, but they'll be willing to supplement this for one of the other two, which is growth potential. And this can come in either the potential in the vision of the company, or they just believe in you as an individual, if you have a brand. And then I
think we have both.
Yeah, and then the third thing is growth potential in skill set. Not only growth potential in the monetary, in the vision, growth potential in, I'm willing to take a 25% pay cut because I believe I can learn more from this founder, and as a result, take one step back to take 5 steps forward. And they're willing to take a pay cut for the other two all the time.
Yeah, and so then, and also it doesn't have to be from the founder, the learning. Like, you can just pay for them to be around good coaches.
Yeah.
And then they love that as well. So it's a really easy way of getting your team like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm going to get this coaching. Well, I was going to have to pay 10K for this anyway, so I'll just get
Exactly. Like, we pay an external coach to come in and train our sales team twice a week. That's why we can get reps who used to make like 30K a month come in, take a pay cut, but they're willing to because they want to learn.
Yeah, and then if you can combine those two, I think are more important than the actual money. If all your team's just motivated and with you for money, that's not a good culture. So I'd rather have the other two, and then the money, like, that will come if you have the other two anyway.
Yeah.
And then if you, like, eventually we'll have all three, and then that's when you're like...
When you have all three, that's when you get the AAs. Yeah.
And then you build an Apple.
Yeah. One thing I see as a big mistake with new entrepreneurs is they have talent miscalibration. Do you know what that is? Have you heard of that?
I could assume, but I'd love to hear the answer.
So it basically means that their definition of an A player is not an A player at all.
Okay, yeah,
and it's much like
that.
If you compare my physique to the average US American, I'm an athlete, but if you compare my physique to the top 100 boxers in the world, I'd be the equivalent of an obese man. So again, it's all dependent on who you compare to. Whereas if I compare my team to an Inc. 100 companies team, we would be incomparable. So most companies have talent miscalibration because they don't even know what an A player looks like. And the solution to that is paying more and taking less profit to understand what that looks like right off the rip. You take one step back for 10 steps forward. Or one thing I did recently is I paid to shadow the ops manager of a $50 million a year company.
Nice.
I paid them $2K for a day.
That's pretty good value.
To just,
That's
and
really
all I did
good value.
For a day, I hopped on a call with them and they explained everything they were doing throughout the whole day. And it allowed me to fully understand what the top levels of an A player actually looks like. And it changed my perspective when hiring completely.
Yeah, it resets the baseline, that does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very conscious that my A player is not your A player. And so I've got to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that will happen. So I'm curious to know, on the more like personal side, going from 10 to 110, you're kind of like me where you're not that materialistic. You know, I know people that get to 110 and blow all that shit in Miami and, you know, get a 50K watch and all this stuff. What's changed for you personally going from 10 to 110K a month?
Yeah, we definitely travel a lot more now. We used to travel, but we travel very different now. Like, the way we travel is great because with business, it can be tactical, but also extremely fun. Like, we're in Marbella right now, in peak season, and we're able to network with the best people, and obviously we're spending the money to be able to do that. Like, me, a year ago, I wouldn't be able to afford the rent that we're paying right now in Marbella. And so that's probably the biggest thing, is like the traveling. I kind of have like a really abundance mindset on business, but then in personal, like, my baselines of like what my war chest needs to be until I can buy really nice stuff is actually really high compared to the average person, I'd say. Like, if I want to buy a £1 million yacht, I'm going to need to have 40 million. So like, most people, they probably buy £1 million yacht at 10 million or 5 million or something. But so my like percentages, and maybe it's a limiting belief or something. Maybe I just need to start splurging a little bit more. But for me, I'm just not very materialistic right now, and I have such big goals that I know, like, if I reserve the cash, then when the opportunity arises, which I know it will, and then we want to go really aggressive into something, we can have the cash. I don't want to miss the opportunity because I bought a Rolex or a nice car and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So on the personal side, just being able to like travel, and that, like, the way we do it is much more luxury now. Just to have like really great experiences. Like, we went to Bahamas for the weekend, and like, I don't know how much we spent that weekend, but yeah, it was a
Fuck nice.
So.
And that's exactly the point, right? Like, if you didn't have the money, you would probably be tracking every dollar.
Yeah.
I think for me, that's a big reason that I do what I do as well. You know, being able to walk in somewhere, and I didn't even know. I came to Marbella and I didn't even know where I was staying for the first week. And I rock up and I'm like, cool, this looks good. And like, all my shit's there, everything's ready. And then the next week we're in this place and I'm just like, fuck, I don't know where we're going. Let me come. 3-bedroom villa, 2 of us here, way too big, 2-story fucking pool-based balcony. I'm like, how are we ever going to use this? I'm sat in working on my computer all day anyway, but the good thing is I don't care.
Yeah.
And the whole reason I do it is just exposure to the best things. And it's funny you mentioned that actually, which is like, maybe I'm being too preservative, and because I paid $50,000 for some mindset coaching with Nero.
Yeah, Nero, yeah.
And the biggest takeaway is that I subconsciously wanted to stay in this place of lack because I associated the feeling of lack and not rewarding myself with me still being driven. So the reason, what I would do is I would artificially delude myself into believing I wasn't there yet, therefore I wouldn't reward myself to keep myself in this place of lack, because I thought that if I rewarded myself, I would have got comfortable and I wouldn't have worked as hard. But what's funny is when I became aware of that on a conscious level and I started rewarding myself more, like paying $11K for 10 days in an Airbnb and not even knowing where it was, just having my personal assistant book it, and renting a car for $8K for 2 weeks, not even knowing what the car was until I got here. When I started doing those things, I actually really started to appreciate it more, and I actually started to enjoy the business a lot more.
We'll maybe hit that. I think I'm probably, maybe 3-4 months behind you then on that one. I need to pay Nero for some coaching to break it. I mean, you're leaning me though a bit. With experiences though, I'm not, like, we're going to rent a nice car and we're going to go up the coast and I just don't buy material, like the actual, like...
And that's fine, because I'm the same as well. You know, funny story, in Miami, I put 15K down for that watch as a deposit, and then you call it fate, the universe, whatever it may be, didn't come in time. Okay. I think that was the best thing that could have ever happened, because I just don't think it's me. And I think when you try and fit your mold into someone who you're trying to do something to impress other people when it's not you, it just doesn't feel congruent. Like, it wouldn't feel congruent for me to be in like a tuxedo while recording this video, or be in a dress shirt. And I tried that. Yeah. You know what's funny? Did I tell you about that when I worked?
Yeah. So this is such a funny
fucking
story.
Ridiculous. So I spent, I think it was $3,000 on a tailor-made, handcrafted suit. Went back and forth to this place like 4 or 5 times. Spent probably 8 hours in that place getting this suit. The one day, the first day I wear it, I put the blazer on a chair when I'm smoking shisha at an event, and I dropped that shit on a shisha and burned some holes in it. And I call the guy, I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? This was $3,000. He's like, oh no, it's burned on the seam, which is this part. It's unrepairable. So I'm like, fuck. And I just reframed that as like, okay, this is a sign from the universe that this is not me, and I'm trying to pretend to be someone I'm not, when I'm actually just the guy who just wears what the fuck he wants and says what the fuck he wants, and that's my whole brand. I think that was like a $3,000 waste of time lesson that actually made me realize, like, oh, the key takeaway is a personal brand is personal because it's a brand around you, not built around what you think people want to see.
And I can attest to the fact that it didn't bother you that much, because I saw you a few days after, because it was just before your Dubai Mastermind.
Yeah.
I remember it quite vividly, actually, because it really expanded my mind too. So we were just about to go play paddle, and Joe said, one of our friends, he was like, isn't it so cool how that didn't bother you that much? Because for some people, they would have been thinking about that forever and like just bothered by it, but you used it for you, not like against you. So it's all about the framing.
Yeah.
And also, like, when you grow a company and you work hard and you get money, then you can just go, yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. It's like, it's 3K, I'll make that today.
That's the thing that I appreciate most about making a lot more money than the average person, which is, number one, when you build a company that makes a lot of money, you provide a lot of value. To do that, you must go through a lot of pain, which means your stress tolerance is a lot higher than most people. Therefore, when shit like that happens, all you do is laugh, because you're just like, fuck's sake, like, I've dealt with way bigger shit than this. This just isn't worth me exerting negative energy. And number two, you just don't care about it financially. Like, I can't count the amount of times I've made like mini retarded financial decisions, like 5K, 10K, 20K, 30K, which it sounds, I say mini compared to other things I've invested in now. And I'm just like, valuable lesson. You live and you learn.
Yeah, and then that's the best thing about it. Like, if you do have a slip up, one of the best things I learned from Nero's book is just like, it's all right, just relax. Like, it's going to be like we're a little speck of dust on a massive universe.
Exactly, just zooming out on a macro. I find that reframe works really well whenever you're going through a tough time. You just zoom out and go, hold on a second, like, I'm this speck on a rock out of 1,000 rocks, and actually, in the grand scheme of things, nothing matters, and I'm probably not even gonna remember this problem in 3 months' time anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Or in 3 hours.
Or in 3 hours, exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely been, like, I love that perspective. I got it from Alex Hormozi, and I just think it's really helped me through any tough time. Okay, and then you just zoom out and just like, yeah, just relax. Just relax. Because I used to get so bogged down with that stuff, and I think that's one of the reasons why I did get stuck for a year or so at 10K or so. Because I just would get in my head and I'd like be like, oh, I had a bad day yesterday, I need to have a good day today, and then I'm thinking about my bad day yesterday, and then that's impacting my today. So that mindset stuff has been beneficial. I can just zoom out from it, relax, crack on.
There's 2 things I want to ask you before we wrap this up.
Sure.
The first one was, selfishly,
Yeah.
what were the biggest things that you learned, or the biggest action items or takeaways that you got after spending 13 months in license and scale from 10 to 110K a month? What were the biggest things that you got, if you could boil it down to 2 or 3 things?
Okay, first one is attack the biggest constraint. Be aggressive with it. Second thing is, there's quite a few. It's got to be hiring. It's got to be hire early. Or another one is profitability, because you told me this at the mastermind in Dubai, because I just moved to Dubai. I was getting cash, tax-free, and I was like, yeah, I'm just like holding on to it now, stacking a bit of cash, get the war chest going, not getting attached to profitability. If you could be sitting at 50, but if you sit at 35 and you aggressively hire beforehand and you invest more into ads, it's going to serve you way more long term. So those are probably the 2.
Cool.
Yeah. So attack the biggest constraint and don't give as much of a fuck about profitability.
Yeah. And that's so true. I think, to be clear for the people watching, not that you shouldn't care about profitability, but that you can take temporary steps back to take 10 steps forward. Like me going from, prime example, 400K a month to 700 or 800K a month, our margin condensed because we hired the team that could get us to $1 million a month. But then when we get to $1 million a month, that will then contract again, and it will go way wider. We'll have a way higher margin, and that's just what you've got to do.
And with a bigger number, so you have the same margin, but with like a double the number. So then it actually, the actual money you're making. Everyone's thinking about percentages. It's all about the actual money you're making, and so yeah, I think 35%'s fine, and then just keep on going at it, and then eventually you'll be at 15 and be like, okay, cool. Well, let's push the next one. Yeah. Or you extract that, you put it somewhere else. So. Yeah, those are the 2, but obviously, make sure you've got your finance tracker and you're profitable. Yeah. But even like 35%, like these local business owners, they'd be like 35%. Yeah, like, I'm on 10.
And then the final thing is, you being at 110 now in an 1,000 TAM market, what's the play to get you to 250? What are the next moves?
250 actually isn't the next goal, 500 is.
Let's say 500 then, I like that thinking.
So, because like, 250, we're going to do 250 with the UK, and then we're going to scale the US side to 500. So that's the
So
goal.
run me through the revenue-driven levers from 110 to 500, and what's the time frame projection on that?
Yeah, so I've mapped this out. We will 500 12 months time. Maybe I could condense the time frame on that. So it's going to be on the UK side, because it's going to be UK-US. So it'll probably be 50-50 split, but then after that, I think the US side will go higher, because it just has the bigger TAM. Yeah. So I think the US side will be able to get to 500K, maybe more. There's people in our niche in doing 600, 700, $1 million a month in our niche, so I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do it too. So on the UK side, it's adding more services. So we're vertically scaling, so we're going to sell the same person multiple things. So we are adding AI and local SEO, Google Ads, web development, and then we also have the meta ads side we already have in place and the calling side we already have in place. Yeah. And so that's going to increase our LTV massively and also make us really sticky, because then we're not the Facebook team, we're the marketing team, which is what I want to be framed as, so our churn's way lower. Yeah. So that's one thing. And then just keep doing more of what we're already doing, because we already have all the acquisition channels, we just need to do more of it now. Yeah. More ads, more diverse angles, running also on the front end all these different offers we're going to have. If we can sell it to them, talk about the AI SEO, because that's a really sexy angle. So we just literally launched those ads yesterday, because we now are offering that. Yeah. So that's, just more of that, more content, leveling up the content. So like literally as we speak now, our B2B inbound is going to be like, our editing is going to be way better. That camera there is mine, so it's really good quality. So we just invested like 5K into that, so that's going to be like take you to the next level. So yeah, and then more partnerships, just more, because I feel like we have the channel, just more of it, and then just the team will be similar team members. because we already have operations manager. I actually don't know. We'll probably just need more of the same team members, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that, which is cool. I like that position because then it's like, it's always the first time you hire for a position, it's always the onboarding's the worst because you just make all the mistakes on them. And on the US side, it will just be very, very similar. Like it's really, business isn't that complicated really. It's just a lot of more, like now it's just a lot of more because I've already got the base skills. I know how to hire a team, I know how to run ads, I know how to speak on stage, I know how to lead. So yeah, just a lot of more.
Let's get it done, bro. See you 500K. Appreciate you.
Let's get it. Thank you, bro.